go.
Call to order then. All right, review, discuss proposals. Kind of a broad statement, isn't it?
So the three pieces that I had asked Cannon to just circle around with you on were the pieces that we talked about at Personnel and Finance last week, 2 weeks ago, whenever the committee met. The security camera piece, in case you had any lingering questions with that. The specific question that came from the committee was more details on the iPad or the tablet project, finishing that up at elementary. And then the third one is the Aristotle monitoring software piece. And those are the pieces that I asked Ken to follow up on. I do want to introduce Kevin. Kevin works with Canon in the tech department. Kevin joined us from IBM.
Yes.
Okay. Late last fall, so it was like late November that he came on staff here in Waterford Graded. So.
How long were you with IBM?
I was there for about a year.
And what location?
I was located actually on site at a customer location, so I was acquired from that location actually to go into IBM.
Thank you.
So Kevin, you might hear Kevin's voice at times interjecting with or helping answer questions.
So, what questions do you guys have? As I emailed you
Give us some insight.
the iPad proposal. I had emailed you about that, so if you want to start with that, I don't know if you have a printout of that or do you need another copy? I see some of you have it.
Still in my
You do not.
I
Okay.
can make copies.
I have plenty.
Oh, okay.
And
Comes
Cam,
prepared.
Don, you good?
I'm,
I think.
Oh, Matt. Okay. Thank you. Do you need one? You're good? Okay. If you take a look at, I don't know if you had a chance to review it or not, but basically it did the same form as we did with phase one of the project. Just kind of what is the minimum that would be required to complete the remaining classrooms. And then in my email I asked if you guys would entertain the idea of the additional carts just to do the syncing with the iPads and just for storing and securing. So if you look at the minimum cost, it's the 30,000 piece, including, you know, as you can see, the part charging pieces, the protective cases and screen protectors, and etc. So I don't know what questions you guys might have had on this proposal.
I think originally we looked at it was like 50.
It was different. I think.
It was,
So
yeah.
it
The number was
the previous
42
amount.
or so, because I hadn't gotten the cost of the carts yet, and then we also looked at utilizing what equipment do we have already, and I mentioned in the email the ones that were given to us
I was gonna ask about
from New
that.
Berlin. They're pretty rugged carts. They were used for Alpha
Is
Smarts,
that more?
and I'm been asking.
Who's our benefactor?
And they're really nice.
They're probably
so-
one of the most sturdiest carts that we have, which is
Yeah.
surprising. We have a couple Bradford carts that are for our Toshiba netbooks, and they don't even come close to the quality.
Did that school upgrade to
They,
something else?
they
or
were. They were
just-
getting rid of the Alpha Smarts, and then actually one of our former employees had gone over to New Berlin. She emailed and said, "Hey, there's these carts and things. Do you guys interested?" Yes. So
Wow.
so we jumped on those
Pretty good
last
deal.
year. So
And those can hold up to, they have 16 slots in them, but they can hold up to 32 iPads if it's configured properly.
Okay.
so we have 2 of those. So that would complete the 2 elementary schools with a cart, and then so in the proposal as an add-on or recommendation is if you guys would entertain the thought of an additional cart just to have
Sure.
all 3 built.
The obvious question would be if you don't have a cart, how do you do it? Just get a lot of wall outlets?
Yes, actually, basically yes, and then we would do, they have library carts, so we'd pile them on those, and it's not exactly the most secure, but we'd
Okay.
try and work with it as much as we can, so.
Okay. Well, this price looks a lot better than the 50 that we were looking at. So, who's on tech? You're on tech?
Yeah.
He's on tech.
So, yeah, that's it. You gotta get used to what the new committee there. Anyways, I'm assuming that obviously the administration's saying they're motioning we should go forward with the iPads. I can't assume, from what I've seen, you would be against it.
no, and the teachers are holding their fingers.
I'm hoping
One
the
thing
fingers
that
will-
came up before you were here, Dan, was that they wouldn't be able to be used this school year, so we'd have to put them probably in next year's budget.
Yeah, there's not enough use time here.
Right.
I'm sure of that.
You would just earmark it?
Yeah,
We can do that through fund balance, or we can just budget it. I mean, I prefer to do it through fund
yeah, I don't
balance.
think you had it in this year's budgetary anyways, right?
You're right.
You're just trying to utilize some of the non-used,
Okay.
okay.
Yes.
So it's kind of relevant which way it's coming, one way or the other, we'll be paying for it.
Yep.
So I don't have a problem with this, I'd say we motion go forward with it,
Second.
okay? Looks good to me, so that would take care of us K through all the way through,
The system, K through 2.
yeah,
So that's-
well, this will take the child in front of technology all the way through 8th grade.
We probably have to study 3 through 5 just a little bit deeper yet.
Yeah, but right now, we did
Fourth
the
grade.
new laptops on those, replacing the ones, and I thought we'd kick some of those over to the rooms after it.
5th and 6th.
No, I'm thinking 3rd, 4th also, didn't we?
We used, last year we got the desktops out and put some laptops in 3rd through 6th.
Yeah, and did we already have something? No, no, you got, it's a gray area, because Evergreen's different than the other two, right?
But they're still,
So-
you're right, but we still configured it as if it's 3rd through 6th when we
Okay.
distribute them, so.
Okay, so what does this leave us left that we haven't redone?
We're-
Probably the breakouts or the
Right.
test labs?
Yes, but for 3 through 5, for curriculum pieces, I think we're wondering, which we'll bring up, I guess, at another point, but additional devices for in the classroom for different things they're using, so we haven't talked about that yet, and as far as things they need in the curriculum, they have 5, but it'd be nice if they had some more in the 3 through 5 area, so.
Okay,
And the other piece, just because it was brought up for discussion, is the concern about, because of the new state testing, the Smarter Balance, that's going to be 3rd through 8th grade, and it's much more intensive. It's more intensive than our current MAP testing, so the amount of technology and the level of technology that we need, so that we're not taking kids off of all other computers for a long, long time.
So we'll be
Because
doing
there's 10 weeks of testing in spring, plus MAP testing.
map testing
PALS,
for,
and-
yeah.
So will we have enough time for the students to be on the tools themselves?
So projecting then,
Mhm.
what are we anticipating additional quantities being?
well, what's the state paying? Yeah, well, there's.
Yeah, that's a good question.
I don't think we allocate until the state ponies up what they're doing, between the educator effectiveness, the Smarter Balance, all this other,
But the Smarter Balance, they did,
yeah, just
last
replacing
year,
every KC
I
with
mean,
Smarter Balance.
they alerted us that we had to get our technology in line for, which our technology is in
That's a
line.
great
It's a
alert.
matter
Are
of,
they paying?
well, no.
I don't think they're paying, but when the
No.
kids are going in the lab and looking at Smarter Balance, we're finding that they're getting tripped over the actual tools and how to use them, so I don't know that they can do the assessment well, because there's so many different tools for them that they're getting caught on the, well, I will manipulate and do all of this. So if we had more access for them in the classrooms, it'd be nice to start planning and working with the
Okay,
kids.
but there's
and
no way we're
parents.
supplying a one-to-one for the entire district.
No.
No.
Based
No.
on what the state is telling us they do.
I think, just some preliminary things we've talked about is, people ask for a lot of things, maybe something is reasonable, we haven't, thought it through, or, even haven't discussed it, but, if there were a set of computers in a building, say Woodfield, that when the time comes for testing, whether it's MAP testing or whatever, that they're pulled back, and so, even though we have a lab and we use it for MAP testing, there's so many students that need to be tested in small situations because of even the increase in 504s and the new laws with 504s. There's so many different accommodations that we need to make that it just takes so long to get the testing done. So this is just a bunch of things. we
Yeah,
need
why don't
to
you
think
come with a
about.
recommendation of what you think we're gonna need for a testing basis, how well our current lab is, because I'm sure that's like the oldest thing we got now, right?
That's,
upgraded the
we
memory
upgraded the
2
memory, the
years
K2 desktops, the couple that are left, those are probably our dogs and the lab and.
Okay, so the K2 desktops, we're gonna expunge out of our system now, because we've got all our new
All
apples,
right,
are we
now-
not?